Good day, everyone. I'm Efrelyn Joel Jofilo from BS Ed Math 3B. Reading Supplemental Text.
Reading supplementary text representative of today's changing media and technology allows students to make connections with the literature or content being studied. Supplementary texts also provide the context for students to confront social issues that are often avoided by canonical works and or are not covered in dated textbooks. Students have the opportunity to critique themes and issues similar those found in traditional texts, but they can also look at other mediums. Furthermore, teachers who use supplementary texts can encourage conversations about social issues that may not be covered in typical sterile required reading curriculum of schools. According to Morel, by offering students the opportunity to review appropriate internet resources, songs, television, programming, and advertisements, as well as many other visual mediums, students have exposure to popular texts they can analyze outside of school as well. Through reading supplementary texts by the use of technology and internet, it helps the students to gain or broaden their information in social issues, including inequalities of race, class, gender, or disability, and the ways in which we use language and other semiotic resources to shape our understanding of these issues. Reading multiple texts. Incorporating multiple texts based on similar literacy themes offers students the opportunity to critique the values or voices that are being promoted. Furthermore, this practice challenges the idea that meaning is fixed and encourages students to use evidence to support their interpretation. Students can evaluate the social, cultural, and historical frameworks or texts by analyzing differing perspectives of a single event. Students grasp more information, think more critically, and learn to synthesize when they read many texts on one topic. If we want students to be able to engage in thoughtful conversations and write fluently about a topic, reading one text on that topic isn't enough. Reading from a resistant perspective. Berman suggests that the practice of reading from the perspective of resistance involves students in their interpretation of a text from the viewpoint of the world and not just the common Eurocentric ideology, often found in standard texts, by considering how people from different backgrounds, that is, racial, cultural, gender, religious, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, would read the same text. Students can gain a better understanding of how the representative group would be affected by a reading of a text. It is based from how the students read the text. The students not just comprehend with the idea or viewpoint, but it can actually relatable based on people backgrounds such as racial, cultural, gender, religious, socioeconomic status, and sexual orientation. From this point of view, it is not just point of view. It is not just the idea, manifestation of the reader, but also based from the personal experience and background of the reader. Bermans revealed that some teachers use the resistant perspective approach and students learn to read a text using a functional grammar or dialectical, or by critiquing the word choice of an author in a song or newspaper. In learning to read from a resistant perspective, students can confront certain stereotypes promoted by a text and deconstruct the meaning or value being privilege. Producing countertexts. Another common practice found in classrooms that promote a critical literacy involves having students Produce countertext. Essentially, this involves having students generate narrative or other text, including multimedia creations from a non-mainstream perspective. Producing countertext can serve to validate the thoughts, observations, and feelings of students and other underrepresented groups. This approach to curriculum offers students occasions to speak from the point of view of those voices that are often silenced or marginalized, thereby empowering them. Teachers can have students craft countertexts in response to a text to highlight perspectives that are missing in the original version, building their critical literacy and composition skills. Students can rewrite texts like fairy tales or historical accounts from another's point of view, recognizing the different power, structures, and biases in the text. This can be especially effective for challenging stereotypes and empowering students to critically evaluate messages and voice their views. Providing opportunities for student choice. Student choice in any type of research has long been touted by constructivists and critical pedagogues like John Dewey and Howard Gardner as an effective way to involve, encourage, and empower students to actively participate in the construction of knowledge. Students learn in various ways, and we can let them show their learning in various ways. Giving students a choice allows them to take ownership of their learning as well as create a product that feels authentic to them. An example of providing student choice in assignment is participation in literature circles or books clubs. Students select books based on interest and then conduct research based on the theme or the context of the novel. While reading chosen novels and discussing the historical or political context of the novel, students can evaluate why the author chose to write in a particular manner and hypothesize why the author may have privileged certain themes. Literature circles not only provide students with choices about reading material, but this practice also involves students in discussion about the novel, thus opening dialogue for diverse perspectives. Taking social action. Moving students to social action is also a practice characteristic of critical literacy. Students engaging in social actions projects can improve the conditions of their communities. By taking research outside of the classroom, students can actually participate society based on the information they discover. Once students research and better understand aspects of their school or community, they may engage in projects to improve an area that is lacking. Berman contends that by following this framework, teachers can help students learn how literacy can be used as a vehicle for social change. Other methods. Incorporating media and technology is another popular strategy for including critical literacy in the classroom. The internet, popular media, and technology play an increasingly larger function in American society. The Annenberg Public Policy Center reports that 99% of American households have televisions. 28 and Gentile and Walsh found that children aged 2 to 17 watch an average of 25 hours of television per week. National Telecommunications and Information Administration. 68% of children ages 9 to 17 used the internet in September 2001. 30 text messaging, blogging, creating identity profiles on social network websites, and countless other activities are altering the way ideas are represented by communicated in society. As a result of the ways texts are constantly changing, classroom instruction also has to be altered to keep up with the students' needs. Thus, it is imperative that teachers demonstrate to students how to both navigate and interrogate the impact media and technology has on their lives. According to Miriam Torres and Maria Mercado, teachers must show students how to read between the lines of the media messages, question and interest behind them, and learn how to look for alternative ways to be informed and or entertained. Furthermore, because students have free access to an astonishing amount of information, they must be prepared to evaluate the credibility of sources so that they are not completely vulnerable to fraudulent information. Thus, teachers must demonstrate how the media and the internet can misinform and provide messages that are harmful if taken as fact. In addition to the curricular demands of a critical classroom, Berman notes that in all the cases he found, the dynamics between students and the teachers are also important. Similar to Frere's notation that teachers should be learners and the learners should be teacher. A classroom that acknowledges the critical literacy theory must also challenge the traditional hierarchical relationship between the students and the teacher. That ends my report. Thank you.